are now listening to Playbook Radio. Here is your host, Martin Williams.
And welcome to Playbook Radio. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast. You may do so on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. All the links to the podcast can be found in the description, and you can also find it at gameplanplaybook.com. That's gameplanplaybook.com. Excuse me. So today what I wanted to talk to you about is creating something new. And the need to create something new always comes from the old being outdated or no longer functional. And in every area of our life, there are things that we need to replace. Sometimes it's something small, like a piece of furniture or, a piece of clothing that has run its course. There may be things in your refrigerator that you need to throw out. And so it's this constant cycle of change that has to happen. And it may be bigger things. You may need to change a job. You may need to change a relationship. You may need to change your way of thinking because your old way of thinking isn't working, right? But whatever it is, it doesn't really matter what it is that you have the responsibility to change that which is no longer working for you, okay? Nobody else can do this for you but you. And I find that a lot of people get frustrated because I've gotten frustrated with things in my life that I didn't like or weren't happy with because I had the power to change it, but I wouldn't change it because, it's easy, to sit and feel sorry for yourself. It's easy to sulk. It's easy to, just feel bad about everything and whatnot. But that's not going to change your situation. You have to create something new. Okay. And the way you create it is you create it through your thoughts and through your words. Okay. So if there's something in your life that's not working, let's say that you want to change jobs, you want to work something that's a little more, amenable to your dreams. You want to work at you want to work somewhere that, maybe it's not as stressful or not as hectic or not as overwhelming, right? You have the responsibility to change that. And the way you change it is you start thinking in terms of, I'm enjoying my work. I'm working somewhere that I enjoy. I'm working at a company that respects me, that respects my time, that honors my contribution. I work for the most wonderful bosses. I work for great supervisors who respect me, right? I work with clients who respect me and respect what I bring to the table and what I bring to their project or to their company, right? You start saying and start talking as if you're already there. And, when you first start, it may seem like a mighty effort to talk as if you are living in the dream, living the way that you want to be living, right? It might seem like it just takes so much energy just to think in that way. But the reality is that you're already expending energy because it takes energy to worry. It takes energy to be frustrated. It takes energy to sulk. It takes energy to feel overwhelmed. You're already expending energy. Why not expend energy to create something that you actually want to have instead of settling for it, what you have now? So you start talking as if you have that great job, or you start talking as if your business is thriving. You start creating it, right? You're not just talking, you're creating. I'll never forget a pastor's wife, Creflo Dollar, who was a big televangelist in the 90s and early 2000s. And he's still preaching. It's just that he's not on as much as he used to be. But his wife said that if you're not saying anything, you're not creating anything. His wife is a taffy dollar. Just want to give credit where credit's due there. But if you're not saying anything, you're not creating anything. And I never forgot that, And here's the thing. When you talk, when you say anything, you are creating good, bad, or indifferent. So you want to, if things in your life are not the way that you want them to be right now, right? You want to stop creating the undesired. You want to stop creating the stuff that you don't want, right? If your job is bad right now, if your relationship is bad, if your marriage is bad, right? If your relationship with your kids is not good, if your health is not good, right? Stop saying it, okay? Stop saying it. Stop creating that, because all you're doing is creating more and more of that. It doesn't mean that you don't take the steps to fix it, right? It doesn't mean that you don't get help. It doesn't mean that you don't go to the doctor or go to a therapist or go to Indeed.com. There are things that you have to do in the natural to fix those situations, but you don't continue to create the thing that you don't want. That, to me, is what they say, hustling backwards, right? You're going backwards, because not only are you staying in the same situation, you're expending energy to stay in the same situation. And that's not what you want, right? So start creating what you want. Start creating the desired conditions. And you create it, like I said, with your thoughts. So, it takes discipline to think in terms of what you would like to have versus what you actually have now. It takes great mental discipline to do that. Not everyone can do it. I may make it sound easy, but it's not always easy, because when you're knee deep in the situation and you're knee deep in whatever life situation that you have, it's hard to think of the ideal right in that moment. So the best time to think about it is, in your off time, or, when you're away from the situation. So, if your marriage is not where you want it to be right now, when you're not around your spouse, think about how, think about their good aspects. Think about the things that you like about them, right? And even better, write it down, right? And then, think of the ideal, like what would a great relationship feel like? What would it look like, right? And then think from that place, okay? If you think about all the things that your spouse does wrong, if you think about all the things that the two of you are doing wrong together, right, it's not going to change, because your thoughts are energy, right? Your thought, whatever thought you send out has energy in it. So it's very important that you start thinking in line with where you want to be, what you want your marriage to be, what you want your job to be, what you want your body to be, right? What you want your life to be, your finances, whatever it is, right? Think in terms of that instead of thinking in terms of what you're experiencing up to this point. But you have to create it. And that's how you're creating it. You're creating it through your thoughts. You're creating it through your words. So you think in line with what you want, and then you talk in line with what you want. And you never stop thinking and talking, right? You never stop thinking and talking ever until you want something different, okay? Because even when you get it, if you start talking the way that you used to talk, it's very easy to lose it. This is why a lot of people, in my opinion, lose money that they win, like in a lottery, or, athletes or entertainers, or they get a large amount of money and then they go right back to where they were beforehand, because, those thought patterns never change, right? And those speech patterns never change. So, they think like who they used to be instead of thinking like who they are now, right? You got to think like who you are now if that's who you want to be. But if that's not who you want to be, you got to think like who you want to be, right? And then talk like who you want to be, and never stop, okay? Never stop thinking like who you want to be and what you want to have, right? Never stop talking like who you want to be and who you, or what you want to have, right? Always keep with that same dialogue, or I should say monologue, because it's just you, right? But always talk as if the problem is solved. Always think as if the problem is solved. Always think as if the money is in the bank. Always think as if the health report comes back favorable, right? Always think as if the marriage is solid and you guys are having fun, right? Stop thinking in line with what you don't want, because all you're going to get is more of what you don't want. So thank you so much for listening. My name is Martin Williams. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to Playbook Radio. We hope you enjoyed this episode. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share this podcast with family and friends. And if you're ready to take the next step in your personal development journey, consider trying Mental Recoding by Playbook Strategies. These short audios are designed to help you reprogram your thoughts around different life subjects, such as finances, health, work, relationships, and much more. Click the link below to explore mental recoding products to help reshape your mind.